Hello everyone. In this class I want to draw Spider-Man. So let's start. So I want to draw Spider-Man because of the new movie and I can't wait to see it. And did you see it and what did you think of it? So let's start with this. And this is called the action line. So this is the basic movement of the pose what I want. So I want to draw Spidey that he's slinging. So I start sketching in this head. I'm just going to make a speed drawing. So here's the head. And I'm okay now with this. And then if I don't like it later, I will change it. Let me change the brush a bit. So here. And then draw in the arm. So first start with the big shapes, and that's the torso. So that's something like this here. And then the hips. So I want this movement going and this. So this, because this is bent. So, and now I don't worry that much about the anatomy, but I try to think more of the overall shape and energy of the pose. So here, let's draw in this hand here, or this arm, of course. And then here this. So let's move everything away so we have the full screen. I'm using tab in Photoshop. So I'm drawing in Photoshop. It's my favorite program. So now I have this, and then let's do this for the breast. Then here we have the torso going like this. And here's the breast. So let me think a bit how I want to do. So I want this hand to be open. And I want this hand to be a bit of foreshortening in. And foreshortening is when something comes directly to you. Let me see how this hand should work. Stamp like this. Or maybe also going like this, like he's going to web sling. Yeah, I think maybe I can make it bigger so that so it looks a bit more like there's more depth in it. So something like this. So I want it to, maybe that's a bit too much. I want it to have the feeling it comes to us, like foreshortening that it moves towards us. But let's leave it like this. Let's continue. That's the leg, like this here, and I want this leg to follow this action line. And what's really cool about Spider-Man is that he's so aerobic, so we can play around with that. So here, and let's draw this leg here, and this feet pointing that towards. So I'm trying to find energy in the poses and in the movement. So something like this here. I have a feeling the lower body is a bit too big, so I make it a bit smaller. Maybe also that arm a bit. A little bit of perspective, and I'm using Control T for that. So now I have this drawing. And let's start sketching a bit more details in it. So I want this head to be rotated this way slightly. So let's think of the construction. So he's looking, oh, so this head, this shape has some depth. So I'm drawing in these eyes like this. And I guess you already noticed it. I'm drawing always a bit cartoony, stylized. So don't expect a super realistic Spider-Man from me. I'm more of a cartoon artist, if you don't know me. So here, these eyes. And then here we can add this arm. And here, this line, that's called overlap. So I want to have some depth. And there's also a bit of the shoulder. And here's the breast. And it goes over in the shoulder here. And I also made some videos about stylistic anatomy drawing, so you can check that out. So here, going here, and then we have this pelvis here, and of course this here from the rib cage, and then here. So I want this to be front out of the armpit, and I think, let's see, this out of it, and this line is back, and this one is in front because of the muscles. Then we can draw in the hand. Normally I would take a bit more time out to figure this out. But now I don't want this to be a very long video. So I want to keep it really rough and sketchy. So get this arm right, and then here this. So, and this arm is going this direction. So I'm using this line to add some, so you call this foreshortening. So that will be, that it moves away from us. So this hand there. Then here we have this part, femur, and the hips, and this leg is in the front. I think this can be a bit bigger. So just let's make that bigger. Something like that. I think that looks a bit better. So, and we see the bottom of the feet. That's pointing that way. So something like this. And then we have this leg going here, and this goes in a distance. So this line is in front because that creates depth in your drawing. So something like this. Do I like it? Maybe make this head a bit bigger, since we're going cartoony anyway. So maybe let's duplicate this. And let's make the proportions a bit more cartoony even. So here, going here. So I'm making everything a bit more bulky because I want this to be a cartoon Spider-Man. And let's exaggerate it. So here, and let's add these lines like this. And then here, and draw in this eye extra big. Maybe you can even make those eyes even bigger. What would happen if we do that? So sometimes you just want to play around, right? With your drawing to make something cool. And also remember that's always trying to find some, always try to improve. I think it's cool that this eye is really big. So maybe you can make this eye a bit squinted. I think that's the right word. I'm Dutch, so I'm not native English, as you probably could have told from my accent. So let's move. Let's add a bit of angles. And actually, I'm now still in a bit of the sketching phase. And for this video, I want to stay in that, because I want this to be about sketching and not about finishing a drawing. So I often do these kind of drawings as a warm-up. So let's add this, and then do this. Okay. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So let's simply make this a bit simplification. No, not like this. I think it's cool that this is going like this, and here it is. So trying to simplificate where I can. I think, can I make this around so it's more cartoony? And this here. So something like this. Let's save that suit for later. And add some angles here and there. And then here, this here. So like these fingers. Funny. How does it look? So sometimes I'm looking at my own fingers. So it's also good to have a mirror beside your desk. Because sometimes it can be look funny, but it's really good to act out some stuff. So here adding this, and here adding these lines. So something like this. Still don't really like it, because, wait, let me look. This would be more like this. Then this will go more like this. I think that's still not totally there. Oh well, let's do it now for like this. Sometimes I just, when I'm stuck, I just finish it, and then I will look at it later, and then hope you have time for that in your deadline, because you don't want to keep working on something if you can't fix it. Or sometimes I would go on and find some reference, or maybe make pictures of my own hand. But of course, we don't have time for that now. Now drawing this feet here. So something like this. Let's keep it all a bit rough. Especially with Spider-Man, we want this kind of energy in the drawing, and these, because I'm drawing stylistic, I want to have these stylistic lines. So something like this. Okay, let's draw in more of the suit. So these spider webs, and also here. So it also creates a bit of depth. Let's draw the spider here with the arms, and here, and then the spider body, and it's following that action line from earlier. So in my mind, I still know where that action line is. So let's make this dark. So So something like this. And let's add here this part. So this is how the suit works. Then here, here, and let's add some webbing here. So let's move this here and here and here. So, and let's add this here, 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 here. Also this here, these webbings. So here, here, and this a bit, maybe make this a bit. So you want to exaggerate these parts, these overlap lines a bit, because that creates that depth feeling. So I'll go over there, and here this maybe this part's a bit thinner. So something like this. And here maybe this gone. And let's do that with value. And of course here we have those web things. Now I don't want to draw in all those details, so I leave it a bit sketchy. I think that also works for the energy in the drawing. So I think maybe this can be cool. I do this to check for mistakes and errors. So I think I could exaggerate some stuff, but let's give him a bit of value. Or maybe we can give him quickly color. So what I do to color him, I take the lasso tool and I start adding this big shape like this here and going here. So I'm making the silhouette. So, and that's also important with the silhouette. If you know about it, there's the character is positive space and the area around it is negative space. And if you have a good balance, the character is readable. So example for here you can see the leg is separate of the body, and it makes, here you have this negative space, and that makes it more readable. More readable. So if you make the whole character, you should still see what he's doing, and it would be really great if you can even see it's Spider-Man because of the pose and the design and so on. So now we have this, and let's fill it with gray. So that's, and let's use the brush to color in some leftover pieces. And let's make a folder. I use Ctrl-G in Photoshop. So I'm working in Photoshop, and I use a Wacom Cintiq to draw on. And if you want to see more videos of me, and maybe if you want to see more in-depth videos, you can check out my Patreon or my Gumroad, and links are in the subscription. And if you support me on one of those places, you'll also help me making more of these videos. So the more people help me out, the more tutorials I can make. So here it's this here, so this hand. Let's make this a bit darker. So something like this. And now I add a layer and put it on multiply. And now I can add some shading. So the light is coming from here. So I can now add some shading. So everything gets this more 3D-ish look. So the brush is pressure sensitive. So I can also use that to make a bit of a gradients. So here, and in my other tutorials, I go in more in depth about different subjects. This was basically just how to draw a Spider-Man video, because I'm super psyched about all these Marvel movies. We get a lot of them, but at the same time, they're so well made. And of course, just popcorn movies, but it's a lot of fun, right? What a time we are living. Although maybe some original stuff would be nice as well. So making some highlights. And I put this on overlay. We can even color it. So let's put this one here, and then let's put this one there to see if it colored some. Oftentimes I find gray just to be way cooler. So let's make this blue. So I'm now using hue saturation. There are a lot of ways to color your characters. So like this. Let me make this red. So something like this. And I don't know, let me know which one you like more, the colored one or the gray one. So let's make those shadows. The shadows are a bit dirty, so sometimes I make them a bit purple to make them a bit more warm. Maybe I can use some soft brush to give some New York sunlight. So here and here. So it's this morning. It's morning in New York. Now it's more like this. What happens if I put some multiply here? No, it gets too dark. What if let's remove these shadows. And the lines are pretty thick, so normally I would paint some thinner lines. And let's make this multiply. Let's make it less darker. So brush in these with soft shadow, these shadows. So I think I like this a bit more. So here, here, here. This also here. Maybe we can give these eyes a bit of depth. Oh, this may be cool. I don't know. Oh, this is just stupid. Maybe something like this. So basically, I'm just trying out a lot of stuff always. So maybe give some here. I don't know. Maybe I need some more time to figure it out a bit. Now let's remove this. Does this work? Maybe I can make this a bit softer on some places. So here. Some places it's cool that it's this hard, but at other places it doesn't work that much. And maybe we can also add some shading, some light here, some reflected light of the building, some cooler color. So like this. So now we have a Spidey. And now it starts fun to start messing around a bit with stuff, probably spending a bit too much time on it. So here, maybe make this bit going like this here, here. Maybe I leave it like this. So yeah, normally I can spend way more time on it to clean it all up. Maybe look how it looks without the lines, and it needs a lot of work if we don't want if we want to remove the lines. But I hope you like this video, and if you want, you can follow me on Patreon, where I give weekly lessons, or I'm selling some books on Gumroad. The links are in the description. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment. Let me know if you liked the Spider-Man movie, and yeah, so I can make more of these tutorials. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.